Hello, bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite. YusefWateef, São Paulo, Brazil. Right now I'm at Escadaria das Bailarinas. It's a colorful staircase, and it was done by a graffiti artist named Cobra, spelled with K-O-B-R-A. He's really famous. We can have another discussion on what's considered graffiti. I don't consider this graffiti. I consider graffiti the lawless art of painting where no one asked you to paint. This is art. These are murals, but that's not what we're here for. I want to tell you that I do a lot of pumping up Brazil. Brazil has been my home for 6 years. I'm a permanent resident in Brazil. I will be a citizen as soon as I get done with some other paperwork, having a passport. I'm a big advocate of people traveling the world and getting second citizenship. But I also want to give some very balanced and nuanced, why you should not come to Brazil. Because there are a couple of things that come to mind that I've seen some of my clients have to deal with that might be problematic for you. And the first, number one thing, Brazilians are very touchy-feely people. What does that mean? When you meet someone or a group of people, doesn't matter if it's two women, two men, or a mixed group, there's going to be some touching involved. Guys hug each other. If there's a woman, everyone kisses the woman on this cheek. That's right cheek. You touch right cheek to right cheek and do that. You just touch each other's cheek and make the noise. If you're in Sao Paulo. Now, if you're in Rio, you do right, then left. The joke is, and this is my friends who are, Paulistanos, they joke that people in Rio have too much time on their hands so they can spend twice as long kissing. There's a rivalry between Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. And I have some friends and clients who are not touchy-feely people. I've seen what happens when, you are an American and you're here, and maybe I introduce you to some of my friends, I introduce you to some people I know, and everybody gets together, and that one person is like, it makes you look weird. I'm not telling you have to. I'm just telling you that, that when you go to a new place, you have to understand you don't have to adjust, but not adjusting comes with consequences, and you don't want people to look at you as that one weirdo who doesn't really understand social nuance or grace. And that's a big deal. Another big issue that I deal with is in the United States, we eat for efficiency. And I'm just going to tell you a story in the context of a company that I was doing some work with and for. We met at 8 a.m. and we had a 11:30 to 12:30 lunch break. Everyone leaves the office. I go with some people to a restaurant down the road. The restaurant down the road, we sit down and I'm like, okay, we've got about an hour. I'm looking at the menu. Waiter comes over. Hey, what do you guys want to drink? Give me an orange juice, a lemonade, water, pineapple juice with mint. If you want to drink, I have a video about drinking juice in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm going to link that below. It's about how to order juice. And the other thing is, when you order coffee or breakfast, that's a different video. Everyone orders their drink. Waiter walks away, comes back 10 minutes later with drinks. Now remember, 10 minutes seems like a long time for drinks at dinner or when you're, when you're in a hurry. But to them it was normal, no big deal. This is lunchtime, it's a crowded place. He comes back, says, what do you guys want to eat? And everyone's still, I don't know. Why don't we start out with an appetizer, one guy says. Salami and cheese with lime. So after that, the waiter comes back 10 minutes later with salami, cheese, lime. And I'm thinking, we don't have that much time. Why are you ordering an appetizer? Now keep in mind, I'm looking at my clock, 20 minutes has gone by, and these people are just having their juice, eating salami and cheese. 25 minutes in, yeah, let's order our food. Yeah, this is what I want, the steak, I want the chicken, I want the costella, I want this, I want that. And it occurs to me, we're gonna get this food 15 minutes at earliest. How are we gonna make it back to our office? We're gonna have to eat like monsters. Food comes, they're sitting around laughing and joking, eating like they've got all the time in the world. Waiter comes over, hey, do you guys want any coffee? Sure. What? We only have 10 minutes. They order coffee, they're drinking coffee, and I'm looking at the clock. We left at 12:10. I'm taking out my phone to text everyone else that I'm supposed to be presenting to in the afternoon, apologizing for being these few minutes late. We walked past one of the restaurants and they were in there just laughing and joking, and we were done before them. And it occurred to me, even though the schedule said we had an hour to eat, we didn't have an hour. We had as long as they needed. Now, granted, people in this country, Brazilians, work just as hard as anybody else. They were more than willing to stay and work later to accommodate those hours, but it really freaked me out to realize that they don't care if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They're going to take as long as necessary, and they're going to enjoy it. They're not going out for fast food. Even the fast restaurants near where the offices are actual restaurants where they cook the food. It just blew my mind that everybody was just okay just taking as long as they needed to eat. That they weren't on this like, we have to get done in an hour because the schedule said an hour. I totally freaked out about that until I had to get used to it. I had to adjust to them. Now, that doesn't mean I'm ever late to a place. Which leads me to another thing that I'll tell you what the pet peeve was and how I got around it. Most of my clients come to me, or in a pinch, I go to them to discuss contracts, to discuss different things. The relationship with time and punctuality is a little different here. I would have clients that paid me upfront for my services to book me for 2 hours for a consultation on one of the things that my company does. For the record, I do expat relocation services. I help Americans who want to come to Brazil do it legally, help them get their visas and accommodations, all that stuff. I help them do that ahead of time. And some companies hire me as an independent because it's better for them to pay me than to pay a large company to do it when they've got 2 or 3 Americans coming. They pay me, they ask me for 2 hours, and arrive 15, 20 minutes late to a meeting that they've already paid for. And I had to say, listen, I have another meeting in 3 hours. I gave you 2 hours and an hour transport time in case my Uber gets stuck in traffic. I can't stay longer. What do you mean you can't stay longer? I have to be at my next appointment on time. And I had to really train my clients that when I say 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, I'm going to be there 15 minutes early and I'm going to leave on time. That's like, I didn't want to be a jerk, but A, you're going to pay me up front. So why are you late? That just totally blew my mind. But you know what? It's their country. That's one thing I wouldn't conform to. I'm never going to be late, but often they are. I have friends that have said, hey, the jazz show starts at 8. Let's make sure we're there to get a table early, 7, and arrive at 7:45 or 50, and then have a real awkward moment when I'm like, I have a table, and I have a table close to the stage. I don't know where you guys are sitting. Again, I love this country. Brazil's my new home. Whether or not I travel to other countries, which I do plan on going to some other places. Shout out if anybody's in Colombia, making some inroads there. And shout out to anybody who might be in Argentina or Chile. I'm making some inroads there. But you're going to have to get used to these things. You're going to have to get used to a society where people are a little more relaxed. They're not lazy, but it also made me realize that maybe Americans are a little high-strung. Because here, the average interaction has a little bit more courtesy. And as an American, we're used to walking down the street, bumping into people, and not even saying anything sometimes. Here, oh, excuse me. Why? Because everybody understands, hey, we don't want any problems with each other. These are some things that just came off the top of my mind that I wanted to share with you guys that are probably the most immediate things you're going to have to deal with. I'm going to do a series of these things, reasons you don't want to move to Brazil. If any of these things are problematic for you, you got to realize that you're going to have to adjust, especially if you're a professional. If you're a businessman, you're going to have to learn how your clients behave. At the bottom, I'm going to leave a link to a couple of things. No, there's one more thing. It's a really critical thing that I hadn't mentioned. Don't come to this country if you're not willing to spend 3 months ahead of time learning just conversational Portuguese. No one expects you to get off your airplane and be speaking as if you were a librarian or a professional attorney, or speaking at the same level you do in the United States. There is a meme that always says, do you know how smart I am in my own language? Your goal should not be instant fluency. Your goal should be able to get off an airplane, get into your Uber or your taxi, go somewhere and say, this is what I want to eat. This is how I want my steak done. Where's the bathroom? My name is, this is where I'm from. Where are you from? How are you today? There is an app called Pimsleur. I did a video that I'm going to link below where I reviewed the app. I don't make any commission on it. It's called Hustling Portuguese Backwards. The Pimsleur app gave me conversational level Portuguese in 3 levels. Each level is 30 classes. Each class is 30 minutes. Take each one twice. So every day I would say do lesson 1, and then I would do lesson 1 again. So that's 1 hour total. That's probably the cornerstone of everything I'm telling you. That's the cement that holds all the other things I've told you together. If you're not willing to spend 3 months learning the language just to have a conversation, but you're willing to spend a year, 6 months, 2 years sometimes, planning a visit here, planning how you're gonna ship your equipment, planning what your life is gonna be here, planning how you're gonna roll out your business here, and I've seen people do all that, but not willing to take the time, and then wonder why their first couple of weeks was so difficult. You'd be amazed how far people in this country will go. Oh, somebody's car alarm. That's weird. Okay, somebody's getting in and out of a car, I don't know if he's testing his car or he just bought the car. There's this guy, he's just turning his alarm off and on, so maybe he's buying it and he's testing it, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna rant. Do this. Wherever you watch this, like, share, and subscribe, especially on YouTube. Like, go to my YouTube channel if you're watching this, excuse me, not on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description to something called All About Brazil, where I put a lot of the Brazilian things. If you don't share this on YouTube and you don't like and subscribe, it slows us down. This is why I'm able to give everybody so much great, crazy content about not just my life in Brazil, but my international friends. You know, money, my favorite subject, world travel, social issues. I also have a Patreon account for people who are part of my business circle, and I'm gonna leave the link there. I hope everybody has a great day. Share this everywhere. I don't care where you watch this, just share it somewhere, all right? Have a great day. YusefWateef, São Paulo, Brazil. A bad day here is better than a good day wherever you are if you ain't here, so bye.